exploring the ultimate reality of the universe for 2,500 years. And they will continue to explore the ultimate reality of the universe for the next 2,500 years, unless they understand that in order to know the reality of anything that is known by the mind, it is first necessary to know the essential nature of the mind through which it is known. To research the ultimate nature of reality without first knowing the essential nature of our own mind is the madness from which our culture is suffering. As the Sufi poet Balayani said, "Whosoever knows their self knows their Lord." Whosoever knows the essential, irreducible nature of their own mind knows the ultimate reality of the universe. This is what Rumi meant when he said knowledge of the world is a kind of ignorance. He didn't mean ignorance in a pejorative sense, nor is this a life-denying statement. If correctly understood, it is truly a life-affirming statement. He meant that knowledge of a world made out of dead, inert stuff called matter involves the ignoring of reality. It is the same understanding to which Ramana Maharshi referred when he said, "The I thought is the mother of the world." He didn't mean, as is commonly supposed, that literally the thought I generates the world. Infants and animals do not conceptualize I, and yet they experience the world. What Ramana Maharshi meant by the I thought is the finite mind. So correctly understood, he meant the finite mind is the mother of the world. The name the finite mind gives itself, the name that each of us gives to ourself is I. And this is what he meant by the I thought is the mother of the world. The finite mind is the activity, not the entity. There is no such thing as a finite mind. There is only consciousness and its activity. The finite mind is the activity through which consciousness knows itself as the world. The same understanding is expressed in the Tantric tradition of Kashmir Shaivism by Abhinavagupta when he says, "The world is an expansion of I." In order for a world to come into existence, infinite consciousness must collapse into the finite mind. It must overlook or ignore itself. It must fall asleep to itself. This falling asleep is called the fall in the Christian tradition. It is called ignorance in Vedanta. The world of objects made out of dead inert stuff called matter only comes into apparent existence when consciousness falls asleep to itself and assumes the form of the finite mind. And that is why within each finite mind, that is within each of us, there is a wound. A feeling that we have been cut off from our essential identity, a feeling that we have left our home. Most people seek to alleviate the pain of this wound through the acquisition of objects, substances, activities, states of mind and relationships. And none of us would be here today if that search for peace and happiness in objective experience had worked. In fact, we are all here precisely because it hasn't worked. What the finite mind or the separate self is really seeking is not an object, a substance, an activity, a state of mind or a relationship, however fine or noble these may be. It is simply seeking to be divested of its limitations, to be returned to its source. In fact, not even to be returned there, for it never left there. The character in the dream never leaves the dreamer's mind. The character in the dream is simply a limitation of the dreamer's mind. But the knowing with which the character in the dream knows her experience does not live inside her body, nor can it be found in her world. It is the knowing that is the nature of the dreamer's mind. This is why it is said that to realize our true nature, no new knowledge comes to us.